Greetings, I am Tsako Jacqueline Mashego, and today we are in Sandton, and we have been invited to attend the Immigration 20 Summit. And with me right here, I have one of our attendees, and good day, sir.
Good day, good day. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Wonderful.
So, just diving straight into the questions. How can immigration policies better protect migrant workers in agriculture and food production?
Yeah, very powerful question. Migrant policies or immigration policies are very important. Firstly, because they draw the line between who is who within the population that finds itself in a particular place. Talking about the case of South Africa in particular, you have to understand that migration helps economically, and it also balances the political atmosphere of a country and, of course, the socio-cultural aspect. So coming to your question, there are only three ways we can answer it. It has to impact the economy where the people stay. It has to also impact the economy where the people come from. And of course, it has to, in a unique way, improve both the socio-economic and the political life of the country that hosts the migrants, be it in Cape, in Cairo, in the USA, in Asia. Migration and migration policies have a very powerful role to play in the development of society.
So, how do you think the policy of the Immigration 20 can be more inclusive to the youth? Because in the era that we're in now, we're doing everything to uplift the youth.
Yes, Immigration 20 comes at a very key time where migration discussions, migration policies, migration dialogues are a burning issue. At this moment where the United Nations, thanks to South Africa being a member of the G20 and organizing such stuff, we believe that it is going to be as a catalyst of change, and is also going to foster greater communication, because communication is everything. If you don't talk about it, you are not going to do it. And if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it at that particular point in time. So we believe this is an opportunity for dialogue, for engagements from all stakeholders, from the Minister of Home Affairs that came this morning, representing the government of South Africa, to representative of embassies that are here in South Africa, representing their different nationalities, and civil society organizations that put their mouth together to ensure and enable that we discuss key issues, because at the end of the day, we are all one people in different bodies, in different places, with one goal, one vision, and one mission of togetherness, development, prosperity, and peace.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Must I mention that I'm representing the Pan-African Renaissance Agents under the auspices of President Thabo Mbeki of South Africa with his Renaissance vision. We are an association that trains young Africans to go above the discussions of migrations and immigrations. We contribute a role in educating. We offer scholarships, we offer training, we offer international conferences where young people in Africa are given the opportunity to visit other African countries, to learn their culture for 2 weeks, so that by the time they return, they will have a shaped African and Pan-African mindset. And that will help to boost the discussions of migration. So far, we are in the second year, and we have successfully sent close to 200 African students around Africa to be able to understand the culture, so that when we discuss in arenas like Migration Summit, South Africa will be able to relate the culture of a Nigerian will be able to relate the culture of a Somalian will be able to understand the culture of an Egyptian, and so on and so forth. So you are also invited in one of our conferences where you become a member, and you may benefit from one of those trips.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much for your time. So, how can we make migration policy more aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals?
Well, that is a very interesting, a very holistic question, what you just questioned. Because I think there is the tendency to see the immigration as a problem. But migration is a reality. Maybe it's a reality that has some problems, but itself, migration is not a problem. It's a reality that we have to face and we have to live with. And that the one that you mentioned, the challenge that we have face to face with the development goals, is one of them. And I think that it comprises an answer that should come from all the different actors, all the key players that have to do something. It's not a question only of the politicians or not a question of the authorities or from the public sector, but also has to do with the society as a whole to find the correct answer to what is, as I mentioned, a phenomenon that exists for centuries, which is immigration, and which has been a very power force for civilization. You know, every society has been enrichment by the immigration in different moments of the history. So in this particular case, I think we have to find the ways and means which the immigrants also in the place that where they are visiting or where they are being working can respond, but also the societies who welcomes this immigrant should find the ways to integrate all as a whole family, but because the world becomes like a world family, and that's, I think, something that we have to keep in mind with the development goals.
Thank you very much for your time.
No, please.
Thank you. Yeah. How can South Africa's G20 leadership translate into tangible immigration reforms that promote inclusion and economic growth?
Well, I certainly believe the first step would be the South African leadership should actually translate into higher standards of regulated migration and complete shunning out of the illegal immigration that is taking place, or that takes place, or that has already taken place. But unfortunately, it's a larger problem that that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed systematically, because the people who are already here, what do you do with them? And then a lot of people, outsiders, immigrants, illegal immigrants, are waiting on their documents. So as soon as the government's documentation system picks up the pace to issue documentation, I hope the problem will resolve itself in the short run.
And how can we align the policy to align with the Sustainable Development Goals?
Well, with the Sustainable Development Goals, migration is one of the cornerstones of the SDGs, and legal migration will always play a pivotal role, especially for regions that are already hit with climate change and others. This is, at this point in time in the history of the world, this is high time, I guess. We are at a turning point when it comes to climate change. And I believe that as responsible citizens, nations of the world, we should shoulder a little bit of the burden. For example, I'll give you an example of a lot of island nations that are sinking. So where do those people go? These are the questions that the International Committee has to find answers to, because obviously they are no less people than us. And if the country that they were born in, that they lived in, that their entire history was based in, if it suddenly vanishes in the underwater, they'll have to go somewhere. That also relates to migration. So it is one of those things that take a cornerstone in the SDGs.
So, walking away from this event today, what is one commitment that you can give to society across the world?
With this event, it's the one commitment that we can give after this event in particular, as immigration is a sensitive subject, and it involves a lot of emotions. So what I firmly believe is there are some hard questions and there are some bitter answers. So we should not stop the discourse, irrespective whether it hurts someone's feelings or not, because these feelings will have to be hurt sometimes because it's a sensitive subject. But keep on asking the hard questions, keep on banging on the doors till the time we find an equitable solution to most of the immigration problems throughout the region and then world in general.
What policy shifts could make visa and work permit systems more efficient and fair?
As a North South African and actually representing a country in the consular section, I do think that sometimes government makes a lot of paperwork that is a long process. For example, South Africa has the police records services for 8 weeks, usually to issue, which I do think that takes a long time for the citizens of their own country for applying to go to other countries. Because all the countries we require that in order to make sure no one person that is moving around has criminal records. So in order to do that, I think South Africa should ensure that not only other countries issue that certificate quickly, that also that happening for the police records in South Africa should be faster, so the people can have their plans or can move away easier than what it is currently.
And which key ideas from today should be prioritized for inclusion in the I20 policy?
I think critical skills, the South African government currently has critical skills list, where is enlisted different type of professions that people can come to live here. However, it's not really clear the process of the clear transition. Usually people are really well knowledge and who really understand the law will be able to apply and actually to get this type of visas. And the majority of the people cannot apply in South Africa. They actually have to go, for example, an American person that wanted to get a critical skills visa to come to South Africa, they have to go back to their countries in order to apply it in waves, usually for 6 to 8 weeks. I think that is not an easy process. That South Africa policy should imply a change of status in their own country, of course following all the law and the procedures that we all should follow to come legally and to actually do the right thing. But if the process is so complicated, how can good brain be shifted? How can people with actually good intention, with trying to come to do business here and trying to do work here, can do it if the critical skills list is not really clear on how to do it and how to apply?
Thank you very much for your time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. And thank you very much for joining us and watching this powerful movement today.